Weapon 1. Project Rebirth. Before the Weapon X program existed, it began with Project Rebirth during World War II. The United States wanted to match Nazi experiments in creating superhuman soldiers. Dr. Abraham Erskine led the project with the goal of turning a single man into the perfect soldier. Steve Rogers, a frail young man from Brooklyn, was chosen despite being physically unfit for military service. His determination and courage made him stand out. Rogers received injections, chemicals, and exposure to Vita rays inside a special chamber. The process transformed his body, enhancing his strength, speed, and durability to the maximum limits of human potential. This transformation created Captain America, the first super soldier. While the public saw him as a patriotic hero, the government viewed him as proof that superhumans could be engineered. Project Rebirth was later classified as part of the Weapon Plus program, and Steve was officially designated Weapon 1, also referred to as Weapon Y in some records. The success of Project Rebirth laid the foundation for all later Weapon Plus experiments. Every attempt that followed, whether cybernetic animals, symbiote hosts, or adamantium bonding, can be traced back to this first success. Unlike the later subjects, Captain America remained the only complete and stable product of the program. All later experiments carried high costs in suffering, failure, or uncontrollable results. Weapon 2. Cybernetic Animals. After Captain America's success, the Weapon Plus program shifted directions and experimented with animals. This project, officially Weapon 2, partnered with Multicorp under Dr. Randall Pierce. The concept was to cybernetically enhance ordinary animals, increasing their intelligence and arming them with mechanical exoskeletons to turn them into living weapons. The results formed Brute Force, a team of cybernetic eco-warrior animals equipped with advanced gear and human-level intelligence. The most notable creation was Wolverine, a squirrel implanted with Wolverine's DNA. Wolverine possessed retractable claws and a healing factor, making him both dangerous and recognizable as a miniature version of Logan. Wolverine's first comic appearance was in Howard the Duck, Volume 6, Issue 1. He was shown in arenas of weaponized animal combat, where his instincts and mutant traits set him apart. Though Weapon 2 often seemed absurd, it has been confirmed multiple times in Marvel canon as a legitimate branch of the Weapon Plus program. While Brute Force as a group faded into obscurity, Wolverine became the enduring legacy of Weapon 2. This experiment marked the first time the program expanded beyond human subjects. By opening the door to animal experimentation, Weapon Plus set a precedent that no idea was too strange or off-limits in pursuit of weaponization. Weapon 3. Harry Pizer, the Skinless Man. During the Cold War, Weapon Plus sought operatives who could infiltrate and kill without detection. They recruited Harry Pizer, a British lawyer who was also a mutant. His mutation gave him elastic, multi-sensory skin that could stretch, disguise itself, and act as additional sensory organs. Under the program's direction, Professor Thornton enhanced Harry's abilities and reclassified him as Weapon 3. With his skin acting as a weapon, Pizer could slip into disguises, strangle enemies silently, and operate as a highly efficient assassin. His missions produced a significant body count, which fit the program's goals in the climate of Cold War paranoia. Weapon 3's career changed when he was sent to Otherworld to retrieve the Orb of Necromancy. To ensure he failed, the program dispatched another creation, Fantomex, who shot him and left him for dead. Instead of dying, Pizer was captured by the Captain Britain Corps. They punished him for his crimes by stripping away his mutant skin. Later, Fantomex took the discarded skin and used it to create specialized bullets, an act that left Pizer consumed with rage. He retrained his body to fight without his mutation, sharpening his raw muscles to mimic his lost powers. He returned under a new identity, the Skinless Man. As Skinless Man, Pizer sought vengeance against Fantomex and eventually joined the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. His vendetta ended when he was killed in battle by Deadpool while fighting against X-Force. Weapon 3 is remembered as one of the most grotesque outcomes of the Weapon Plus experiments, turning a lawyer with a peculiar mutation into a mutilated assassin consumed by revenge. Weapon 4. Dr. Ted Sallis and the Man-Thing weapon, plus expanded into biochemical warfare with Weapon 4. The goal was to engineer immunity to chemical weapons. Dr. Ted Sallis, a biochemist, led this research from a hidden lab in the Florida Everglades. He developed a serum that showed potential to protect soldiers from toxins, but it was unstable and produced monstrous side effects in test subjects. Despite the failures, Sallis persisted. His personal life deteriorated, and his wife, Ellen Brandt, fell under the influence of AIM, a terrorist science group known as Advanced Idea Mechanics. Ellen betrayed Ted, luring him into an ambush so AIM could seize his formula. Facing capture, Sallis injected himself with the last dose of the serum and tried to escape by car. He crashed into the swamp, where the serum fused with mystical forces tied to the Everglades. Instead of dying, Sallis was transformed into the Man-Thing, a creature of swamp matter and vines with immense strength, dimensional travel abilities, and the power to burn anyone who felt fear. Ellen was scarred in the attack, and the program classified the incident as Weapon 4. Unlike prior experiments, this case combined unstable science with mystical energy, creating a being tied to the nexus of realities. The Man-Thing never became a soldier. Instead, he evolved into a supernatural guardian, a tragic failure in the program's attempt to mass-produce chemically enhanced humans. Weapon 5. Symbiote Experiments. In 1965, S.H.I.E.L.D. discovered a frozen alien organism, later identified as a symbiote dragon named Grendel. Symbiotes are parasitic creatures that bond with hosts, granting them immense power while feeding on their life force. Under government pressure, S.H.I.E.L.D. initiated experiments to weaponize this discovery, which became Weapon 5. By 1966, tests began in Vietnam. Soldiers were bonded with fragments of the symbiote, transforming them into living weapons. The outcome was catastrophic. Hosts became unstable, mentally corrupted by the symbiote hive mind. Missions ended in massacres as soldiers lost control and slaughtered indiscriminately. The program was shut down, but the Weapon Plus leadership repurposed the research into Weapon 5, this time attempting to engineer symbiote suits altered at the viral level to remove hive corruption. The plan was to create obedient biological armor. Instead, it produced further disasters. Carnage, bonded with a fragment of the Grendel symbiote, attacked the Weapon 5 facility. The staff were almost entirely wiped out, with only a small unit led by Robert Urquhart surviving. The project was later restarted under Dr. Randall Pierce, creating symbiote suits with adaptive features such as claws, tendrils, and organic weaponry. Despite limited control, the lesson was clear. The further the program strayed from the original super soldier serum, the closer it came to unleashing uncontrollable monsters. Weapon 6. Luke Cage. By the late 1960s, Weapon Plus moved its focus back to human experimentation, this time using prison inmates as unwilling test subjects. Carl Lucas, a Harlem native, became one of these subjects after being framed for drug possession by his childhood friend Willis Stryker. He was sent to Seagate Prison, notorious for corruption and abuse. At Seagate, Dr. Noah Burstein oversaw experiments in cellular regeneration. His work, often linked to Project Power and later associated with the Weapon 6 designation, was inspired by the broader Weapon Plus program, though not always explicitly identified as part of it in every source. The objective was to engineer soldiers who could heal rapidly from injuries. Lucas was restrained inside experimental machinery, infused with chemicals, and subjected to a high-risk process that had already killed other inmates. Against the odds, Lucas survived. His physiology was radically altered, giving him skin as hard as steel and superhuman strength. Bullets ricocheted off his body, blades shattered against his skin, and his regenerative capacity allowed him to endure punishment no normal human could survive. The government classified him as Weapon 6. However, Lucas rejected their control. Taking the name Luke Cage, he forged his own path as a hero for hire, using his powers to protect civilians rather than serve the system that had imprisoned and exploited him. Weapon 6 became the program's first successful street-level powerhouse, though it lost control of him immediately. Weapon 7. Adam. After Steve Rogers was presumed dead in the ice, Weapon Plus attempted to manufacture a replacement. One subject was a man named Adam, who was obsessed with Captain America and imitated him by wearing a costume and patrolling the streets. His devotion made him an ideal candidate for manipulation. Dr. Joseph Reinstein, also referred to in some records as Dr. Younger, recruited Adam into the Weapon 7 initiative. The program enhanced his body with regenerative healing and combat augmentations, but more importantly, they implanted a control device in his brain. Commands issued by his handlers were received as if they were the voice of God, convincing Adam that his obedience was divine will. Believing himself to be Captain America Reborn, Adam fought with conviction, carrying himself exactly like Rogers while unknowingly serving as a disposable puppet. His loyalty was tested when Weapon Plus ordered him to defend one of their laboratories. Adam fought Wolverine and the real Captain America, demonstrating the extent of his enhancements. The final command erased any doubt about his true role. He was ordered to destroy the facility, killing himself in the process to eliminate all evidence of the project. Adam obeyed without hesitation. His life ended as a manufactured imitation, a tragic reminder of how Weapon Plus could twist admiration and patriotism into blind obedience. Weapon 7. Nuke. Project Homegrown. Another branch of Weapon 7, called Project Homegrown, produced one of the program's most infamous subjects, Frank Simpson. His troubled childhood made him vulnerable to manipulation. Raised in Ohio by a wealthy but abusive mother, Frank endured neglect and emotional damage. A manipulative babysitter pushed him further into violence, eventually coercing him into murdering his own mother. Weapon Plus, with Logan still serving them at the time, abducted Frank and began reshaping him into a controllable killer. During the Vietnam War, Frank was captured and tortured by the Viet Cong. The program exploited this trauma, implanting a psychological trigger phrase, "No VC." When spoken, it sent Frank into a berserker rage. The effectiveness of the trigger was proven when Logan tested it, causing Frank to massacre innocent villagers who had been begging for their lives. Weapon Plus then subjected Frank to extensive physical augmentation. Surgeons implanted a second heart, reinforced his skeleton with subdermal mesh to resist bullets and blades, and enhanced his metabolism to accelerate healing. To control him further, the program gave him a chemical regimen of red, white, and blue pills. The red pills heightened his aggression, the white stabilized his system, and the blue calmed him down. The result was Nuke, a soldier with superhuman durability, strength, and endurance. But the enhancements came at the cost of his sanity. He became an unstable operative deployed in covert wars, leaving devastation wherever he was unleashed. Nuke epitomized the brutality of Weapon 7, a man reduced to a chemically dependent weapon of mass destruction. Weapon 8. Programmed Assassins. Weapon 8 is one of the least documented chapters of the Weapon Plus program. The surviving records suggest that this initiative focused on creating enhanced assassins and sleeper agents. Instead of using serums or adamantium, the program relied on heavy drug conditioning and layered hypnosis. Subjects were systematically broken down until they could be triggered by specific commands, turning them into living weapons on demand. The goal was to build operatives who could blend into ordinary society until activated. Once triggered, they would carry out assassinations or sabotage missions with no resistance, functioning as disposable assets. This made Weapon 8 different from earlier experiments. It was not about physical enhancement through science or mutation, but about psychological control, ensuring that entire agents could be manufactured through mind programming. Surviving hints connect Weapon 8 operatives with other Weapon Plus creations, such as Fantomex, Weapon 13, and Ultimaton, Weapon 15. The idea was that these assassins would act alongside super-sentinels as part of a hidden network of operatives under Sublime's direction. However, no confirmed roster of Weapon 8 subjects has ever been published, and most of the files appear to have been deliberately erased from the record. The absence of details has given Weapon 8 an almost myth-like reputation within Weapon Plus history. Unlike Wolverine or Luke Cage, whose stories are known and visible, Weapon 8 was designed to be invisible. It represents the program's shift from engineering super soldiers creating agents who could destabilize targets without leaving behind evidence. Weapon 9. Typhoid Mary. Weapon 9, also known as Project Psyche, was centered on Mary Walker, a woman whose abusive upbringing caused her mind to fracture into multiple personalities. Out of this trauma emerged distinct alternate identities, each carrying powers her base self lacked. The persona known as Typhoid displayed pyrokinesis, telepathy, and combat instincts. Another, called Bloody Mary, was violent, merciless, and focused on punishing abusive men. These personalities made her unstable but extremely dangerous. Mary's life intersected with Daredevil and the Kingpin, alternating between roles as a lover, an assassin, and an unpredictable figure in New York's criminal underworld. Weapon Plus saw her fractured psyche not as a weakness, but as an opportunity. They took her into their program under the codename Mutant Zero, officially designating her Weapon 9. The program refined her unstable mind into a controllable arsenal. By giving her access to all of her personas at once, Weapon 9 could wield a combination of abilities, setting fires, controlling minds, and destabilizing targets through psychological warfare. Instead of erasing her fractured identity, Weapon Plus weaponized it, turning her into a government-controlled operative. Weapon 9 demonstrated that the program was no longer only concerned with physical augmentation. By exploiting psychology and trauma, they created a living weapon whose instability was itself the tool they relied on. Weapon 10. Wolverine. The most infamous chapter of the Weapon Plus program was Weapon X, where Logan became the central test subject. His healing factor made him ideal, since his body could endure procedures fatal to others. Under Professor Thornton, with Dr. Cornelius and Dr. Carol Hines managing the lab, Logan was forcibly placed into the project. The process was extreme. Logan was submerged in tanks, pumped full of chemicals, and had molten adamantium bonded to every bone in his body. His natural bone claws were coated, turning them into indestructible blades. This made him one of the deadliest combatants ever created. The program added psychological manipulation to physical torture. Memory implants, illusions, and false histories were projected into Logan's mind to disorient him and make him easier to control. The intent was to erase his identity and reduce him to a perfect, obedient weapon. Control did not last. Logan's feral instincts, amplified by his mutation and torment, drove him to rebel. He broke free in a violent escape, killing guards, scientists, and staff, including Dr. Dale Rice. The facility was left in ruins, and Logan disappeared into the wilderness with his memories fragmented and his past largely erased. Weapon X remained active in the background, using Logan's stolen DNA for new experiments, but their greatest creation had escaped them. Wolverine's breakout became a defining failure for the program, proving that even their most advanced techniques could not contain the will of a subject built for survival. Weapon 11. Divergent Experiments. Weapon 11 has two very different versions, one from film and one from comics. In the 2009 film X-Men Origins Wolverine, Weapon 11 was portrayed as Wade Wilson's mutilated body turned into a hybrid super soldier. The program grafted optic blasts, teleportation abilities, and retractable katanas onto him, branding him Deadpool in that universe. This version was designed to combine multiple mutant powers into a single controllable weapon. The reception was overwhelmingly negative, and the portrayal became a symbol of poor adaptation choices. In the comics, Weapon 11 meant something else. After Warner's escape, the program pursued new paths, one of which was influenced by Romulus. His plan involved Wolverine's son, Daken. The attempt focused on fusing Daken's skeleton with the mystical Muramasa blade, a sword specifically designed to negate healing factors. The goal was to engineer a weapon capable of permanently killing Wolverine. Though the process never fully succeeded, Weapon 11 in the comics became associated with precision-targeted weapons rather than mass production. It represented a shift in strategy, not building armies of soldiers, but crafting specialized tools designed to eliminate specific threats, even one as resilient as Wolverine himself. Weapon 12. The Huntsman. Weapon 12 was developed inside the World, a Weapon Plus facility where time moved differently, allowing accelerated evolution and technological growth. Out of this artificial environment came the subject known as the Huntsman. The Huntsman was designed as a viral, hive-minded soldier built with nanosentinel technology. His body carried a consciousness that spread by physical contact. Anyone he touched was infected, overwritten by his programming, and absorbed into his network. A single operative could become a swarm, multiplying into an unstoppable force. Because of this uncontrollable nature, Weapon Plus installed a kill switch into his design. If the Huntsman broke free of control, the program could shut him down instantly. This failsafe was the only measure preventing him from overrunning the very organization that created him. When Weapon 12 was finally deployed, he encountered Fantomex, Weapon 13. Their battle demonstrated the Huntsman's terrifying ability to spread his hive consciousness, but Fantomex exploited the kill switch. The Huntsman collapsed instantly, terminated not in combat, but by design. Weapon 12 is remembered less as a functioning weapon and more as a cautionary entry in the Weapon Plus records, showing the danger of creating soldiers that could multiply beyond their creator's control. Weapon 13. Fantomex. After the collapse of Weapon 12, Weapon Plus continued its experiments inside the world. From this research emerged Weapon 13, better known as Fantomex. He was engineered as a prototype of the next generation of super-sentinels, blending human and machine traits. Fantomex's nervous system was fused with nanosentinel technology, giving him semi-autonomous biology. He was created with 3 separate brains, each capable of independent thought and function. To extend his abilities, he was bonded to EVA, a living ship directly connected to his nervous system, allowing him to operate as both man and vessel. Unlike the Huntsman, Fantomex was designed for deception and adaptability rather than infection. His abilities centered on misdirection, strategic manipulation, and survivability. He later adopted a self-chosen identity, even crafting a French persona, and defected from the program to ally with mutant groups such as the X-Men, Magneto's teams, and X-Force. Fantomex's story became more complex after his death, when EVA accidentally cloned 3 versions of him, 1 for each brain: the heroic Fantomex, a ruthless dark version, and a female counterpart called Cluster. This unintended outcome highlighted the unpredictable consequences of Weapon Plus's accelerated evolution experiments. Weapon 13 remains one of the few creations who escaped the program's control and defined his own role in the world, turning from a designed sentinel into a free agent with shifting allegiances. Weapon 14. The Stepford Cuckoos. Weapon 14 was an attempt to mass-produce psychic soldiers. After Emma Frost was left in a coma following a battle with Trevor Fitzroy, Weapon Plus scientists harvested her genetic material. From her eggs, they engineered over 1,000 identical telepathic daughters. Each was designed to function as part of a hive mind, amplifying their telepathic powers by linking together. The 5 most prominent of these clones, Sophie, Phoebe, Mindy, Celeste, and Esme, were placed inside Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Collectively known as the Stepford Cuckoos, they demonstrated the program's success. Acting in unison, they could project illusions, alter thoughts, induce sleep paralysis, and even rival some of the strongest psychics in the Marvel Universe. Their hive link allowed them to share thoughts instantly, finish one another's sentences, and concentrate their powers into devastating psychic attacks. Although they were created to serve Weapon Plus, the Cuckoos grew into independent figures. They oscillated between loyalty to Emma Frost and resistance against her, and their numbers were reduced over time from 5 sisters to 3. Despite this, their existence confirmed the viability of Weapon 14's central idea: an army of telepaths capable of overwhelming entire populations through sheer psychic force. Weapon 14 is remembered as one of the program's most ethically disturbing experiments. Instead of soldiers built through surgery or conditioning, the project manufactured children, bred for war, and released them into the world as both students and weapons. Weapon 15. Ultimaton Inside the World. Where time was accelerated to push evolution forward, Weapon Plus developed its 15th experiment, Ultimaton. He was engineered as a super-sentinel, designed to be generations ahead of existing models. Ultimaton's powers made him appear unstoppable. He could fly, unleash electromagnetic blasts, and endure extreme levels of damage without slowing down. His stamina and strength were engineered to be virtually limitless, making him a prototype for the future of mutant eradication. Unlike previous subjects, he was created solely within the artificial environment of the world, raised without any identity outside of serving the program. When AIM attempted to reclaim technology that Weapon Plus had stolen from them, Ultimaton was released into combat. His performance confirmed why the program considered him their crowning achievement. He destroyed AIM agents with ease, demonstrating overwhelming power and obedience. His path eventually crossed with Wolverine. Their fight did not end in a direct victory for either combatant. Instead, Wolverine brought down the entire space station that housed Ultimaton, destroying both the facility and its prized weapon. Ultimaton perished in the collapse. Before his death, he expressed a final thought: "I could have been a painter." This line revealed a spark of individuality buried beneath the Sentinel shell, an unintended emergence of humanity in a weapon engineered only to kill. Weapon 16. All God. Weapon 16 marked a shift away from physical enhancements and into psychological warfare. Instead of building another soldier, the program engineered a bioweapon designed to control belief itself. The result was called All God, a viral agent revealed in Dark Reign, The List. Wolverine number 1. All God was a gas infused with nanotechnology and time manipulation properties. Once inhaled, it did not attack the body. Instead, it rewrote the victim's faith, stripping away free will and instilling blind loyalty to All God. Anyone exposed became a fanatic, utterly obedient and incapable of resisting commands. The logic behind the weapon was chilling. Rather than spend resources cloning, grafting metal onto skeletons, or conditioning assassins, Weapon Plus could subjugate entire populations in a single release. An army, a city, or even a nation could be transformed into soldiers without firing a shot. Unlike earlier projects, there was no easy reversal. Once indoctrinated, victims remained under All God's influence permanently. This made Weapon 16 one of the most dangerous and ethically disturbing initiatives the program ever attempted. It showed that the scope of Weapon Plus had expanded far beyond creating fighters. They were now attempting to conquer the human mind at scale, weaponizing belief systems themselves. Weapon 23. X-23. Laura Kinney. When Weapon Plus failed to reproduce Wolverine directly from his damaged DNA, they turned to cloning. Dr. Sarah Kinney, a geneticist within the program, proposed creating a female clone by bypassing the damaged Y chromosome. After 22 failed attempts, the 23rd embryo survived. This subject was carried to term by Dr. Kinney herself, and the result was Laura Kinney, designated Weapon 23. For the first years of her life, Laura was raised under observation. At age 7, the program began deliberately triggering her mutation. She was exposed to radiation to force the emergence of her claws. Once manifested, her claws were surgically removed, coated with adamantium, and reinserted into her body. These operations were performed without anesthesia, inflicting maximum trauma. Dr. Xander Rice, one of the lead overseers, added a trigger scent to her conditioning. Whenever Laura inhaled it, she would lose control and enter a berserker state, killing indiscriminately. This made her the perfect assassin, loyal in appearance, but ultimately reduced to a living weapon by chemical control. Despite the conditioning, Dr. Sarah Kinney grew attached to her daughter. She wrote Laura a letter, gave her personal effects, and attempted to help her escape. Before they could flee, Rice activated the trigger scent, forcing Laura to kill her own mother in a frenzy she could not resist. With her dying breath, Sarah revealed Laura's true name and gave her instructions to seek refuge at Xavier's Institute. Weapon 23 is one of the most brutal examples of Weapon Plus's methods. Unlike Wolverine, who escaped through feral instinct, Laura was deliberately raised in cruelty, molded into a weapon from birth, and scarred with trauma meant to bind her permanently to the program. Weapon 24. X-24. Following the partial success of X-23, Weapon Plus sought to eliminate what they viewed as her flaw: independence. Their solution was to create a direct genetic duplicate of Logan, engineered without personality, conscience, or free will. This subject was designated Weapon 24, or X-24. Unlike Laura, X-24 was not raised as a child or conditioned through years of training. He was grown as a living weapon, designed to kill on command. His healing factor, senses, and adamantium claws were identical to Wolverine's, but he lacked restraint or moral grounding. Where Wolverine carried trauma and Laura carried hope, X-24 carried nothing. The result was a pure killing machine. In the Logan film, he was released under the Transigen program, deployed to hunt and eliminate targets with ferocity equal to Wolverine at his peak. His rampages demonstrated the danger of cloning without humanity. Charles Xavier himself fell victim to X-24's claws, a reminder of the project's absolute ruthlessness. Like many Weapon Plus experiments, control of X-24 was only temporary. Once unleashed, his violence could not be contained. His existence ended during the same conflict that claimed Logan's life, leaving behind only the record of a program that finally achieved a perfect duplicate, and in doing so, created a weapon without purpose or identity.